All right, ladies and gentlemen, game number 2 between dSeleCT and GamaniaSen. GamaniaSen. Cutest thing ever. We're going to go directly over to Xel'Naga Caverns. You know what? It's a tough TVZ map, Orb.
Oh, it absolutely is.
Right.
Wait. Are you saying tough for the Terran?
ZVT, excuse
Oh,
me.
okay. Yeah, it is.
ZVT
It is
map.
a tough ZVT map, man. The natural rush distance, one of the shortest in the entire map pool. The natural, very, very wide open. The bases are pretty disjointed, so you have to worry about drops. And on top of it all, you've got destructible rocks blocking both possible, quick third bases. So definitely a hard map for Zerg. Sen's going to have his work cut out for him if he wants to come back and win the series 2-1.
Yeah. Well, as I was saying last game, there is a trend nowadays to do the Zergling Roach Baneling strategy where you do Zergling Roach Baneling, and you take the gold expansion. Normally we see Zergs taking that bottom right or the top left expansion just because that's the safer one. You're not going towards a Terran push. You're not, really exposing yourself. But all of a sudden we're seeing, okay, Zerg don't have to go Mutas. We can focus on just going the Zergling Baneling Roach into Infestors, ultimately into Broodlords, and it works really, really well. Just stuff that entire push that's coming off of the 2 base, and you're absolutely good to go. We'll see what Sen goes with this time around. He has been known to do that style.
Oh my god, we are going to see a 2 racks from Select this game. Not opting to go for any standard play. Is going to go for the 11-11 racks, I believe. Unless the first one was on 10, but I'm pretty sure it was an 11-11 racks there. So this could be a little bit difficult for Sen to deal with. But Select didn't proxy it. He didn't put it down at the natural, anything of that sort. Just put it up on the upper ground to create that full wall off. So it's going to have slightly longer rush distance than he maybe would have liked. Sen does see it all. But he went hatch first regardless. So he's feeling just very safe right now. He's going to throw down that 15 pool afterwards. We'll have to see if that'll be enough to defend against the incoming bunker rush from Select.
Yeah, and Select is very, very well known for his bunker rushes. Again, I've seen it time after time after time again. He just executes this so well, is able to net so many kills. We're going to see if Sen is able to defend against this accurately at all. I'm really, really worried actually, because I just know how powerful Select is. Both these players have such similar names. I know how powerful Select is with his ability to rush with just mass Marines and SCVs.
Yeah, when you have micro as good as Select's micro, all of a sudden the Marine changes from this weak kind of fragile little unit into a powerful death machine. So when you can just really utilize your units that efficiently, it starts becoming very scary for a Zerg player to deal with. So we do see, it looks like 7 drones from Sen coming out here to try to defend. They will force that SCV off. Almost get this round, but not quite. Looks like Select was mining on those minerals. But he's going to go try to get this round on these Marines. I don't think there are enough drones, though. Generally, I think the rule of thumb is 3 drones per Marine. So only at 7 there for those 3 Marines and the SCV. So Sen might be in a little bit of trouble here, but he does have 6 Zerglings out now chasing around those Marines. But he has to pick off that SCV. The bunker is going to complete, and that's terrible for Sen.
Very, very terrible. It looks like he's getting the full surround. The drones are actually being targeted down. The SCV needs to go down. There it goes. Now additional Zerglings are going to come out here. It looks like he's just going to run, let that entire bunker burn down, and meanwhile just try to cut off the supply. But Select is going to actually get out of that bunker, salvage it, and he's absolutely fine. The first queen is out at that natural, and he's going to be able to, I don't know, actually it's a really, really tough position for Sen.
It is. He has to play absolutely perfectly. If he just messes up micro at one moment, these Marines will kill off his Zerglings, and then he'll just be too far behind to get back into this game. And while this is going on, Select's expansion already over a third of the way done, and already has double gas on the way, so he's transitioning beautifully. Even if he doesn't do any further damage here, Sen is already going to be so far behind that Select, assuming his transition and his tech path is something effective, which I assume it would be. And he's going to be in a great position in this game.
Well, there's going to be 2 phases to this individual build. First is the initial Marine phase. Next is when you get a huge group of Marines, and if you do not have a spine crawler or a mass Zerglings with speed, it can be very, very difficult to stop this. Here we go. The second engagement has commenced. It looks like all the Zerglings will be cleaned up. It forces more indirect damage. We can see no drones coming out. And remember, the more Zerglings that he makes, the more he's not committing to economy. It's an opportunity cost for Zerg That's one of their mechanics that's so difficult. It's both their strength and their weakness. We can see that Select is doing even greater indirect damage to his opponent, getting further and further ahead.
Absolutely. I think Sen might have overreacted just a little bit there. Unfortunately, he didn't have the scouting information. He needed to see if, are there more Marines on the way or not. Unfortunately, he didn't have that information. If he did, he would have seen, wait a minute, it's just 5 Marines, and they're actually pretty low on HP, so my 2 Queens and drones probably could have defended that pretty easily. And those could have been drones, so that would have been a better position for him. Instead, he's going to be pretty far behind, and he's not actually using these lings. I'm a firm believer, personally, that if you're going to make units, you should probably use them for something, so... if he is going to be that far behind economically, he's got to make something happen with those lings as a result. Whether that should be him trying to get speed up as soon as possible and actually go be aggressive on the front and try to deny or delay the expansion from Select, or what, I do not know. But it's got to be something here, because Select is already gearing up to rush to Blue Flame Hellion, it looks like. And I don't know if Sen will be prepared.
We're going to be seeing a Blue Flame Hellion plus Marine expand. And this is so difficult for Sen to stop. Right now, I mean, the main thing that he has to worry about is Blue Flames in general. The Blue Flames are going to do a ton of damage if he stays on this Zergling trend. Of course, we do see a Roachborn coming out, but after that, again, another phase of the whole thing. You have to worry about that Marine or even Marauder plus Hellion combination, where it basically makes every single one of your Zerglings useless. And then what are you left with? You're left with Roaches, which are okay for DPS, but if you have something like Marauders out, if you have something like Stim Marines out, it can get very ugly very fast.
Yeah, that or tanks as well. Of course, Select already has the double factory tech with that tech lab, so it's often a common transition for Terran players to just switch off and start making tanks once they feel they have enough Blue Flame Hellions to support their army against any speedling or baneling play. And it looks like Select is going to move out for this aggression now with these Marines and Blue Flame Hellions, or Blue Flame, soon to be complete. Just not starting Sim, so won't have that for this push, or for this attack rather, but he did go for the combat shields first, so he has 55 HP on these Marines. That's going to make them that much more effective, especially against these Roaches that Sen is going to be defending with. He has 11 Roaches on the way. Zergling speed is going to complete, but I don't know, we'll have to see if these Roaches are going to be enough.
Yep, here we go. All the units are going to be moving in. It looks like Zergling's trying to get around. Roaches are going to pop right at the perfect time. Is it going to be enough, though? I don't know. It's going to be very difficult. Now the drones are going to line up, and the Hellions are going directly for those drones. They are going to focus some of them down, but actually Sen is... Oh! I was just going to say Sen was able to look at that very well. But line him up indeed, and that's going to do it for Sen's entire drone line at the natural. Owie, owie, owie.
That is exactly what it is. I wish I could kiss Sen's forehead right now or something. Like, he's got a boo-boo, Andre, man. He just lost all of his drones. Look at that workers kill tab. 25 workers that Select's killed over the course of this game. Right now, it's 25 drones to 38 SCVs. Oh. Never a position you want to be in as a Zerg player, having, what is it, 2/3 of your opponent's your worker count, but he's going to come and force some aggression. But there are Blue Flame Hellions, Marines with a bunker set up, so I can't see this actually doing that much damage, especially with the tank that just popped out for Select.
Yeah, the tank really solidifies his advantage, and that's going to do it for those Roaches. But Sen is just making constant units. I don't know if this is the correct choice at all. He needs to start droning up. There he goes, 8 drones right now, and he's probably going to put larva injects, or his next couple larva injects all into drones, I would assume, just because it's the safer way to go. The one thing that does work for him is he has that macro hatchery. With the macro hatchery, you have additional larvae. You can get those drones a lot faster. You don't have to do, 3 production cycles, maybe just 2. Is that going to be enough time, though? Select is actually already moving out, and he's going to continue the pressure now that his siege tank and siege mode is finished.
Oh boy, this is so scary for Sen. He actually only has 2 queens, interestingly, but with that macro hatch, has enough larva anyways. Actually has quite a bit of larva just kind of sitting around. Doesn't have the money since he's been so starved for drones all game long now. He does have optimal saturation at the natural now, but doesn't have any gas mining it, so not actually able to get any higher tech units. Does have a lair on the way, but still no baneling nest. So, I mean, dealing with this many combat shield and stim Marines with just Roach speedling is very difficult to accomplish. So I would like to see him tech up to that baneling tech or something of that sort, but I don't know. Sen is just continuing to make Zerglings right now. We'll have to see if this will be enough. I mean, Select's moving forward. He doesn't actually have any upgrades, so +1 only about halfway done. That will be in Sen's favor, that he at least doesn't have to worry about, like +1 Marines for now. But this is still a very scary force for Select moving forward. 100 food to 78, and here comes for the attack.
Yep, Zergling's going to sprint forward. It looks like the Roaches are going to come over to the right-hand side. Actually, a lot of units are going to fall in for Sen. A good concave around all the units, but it's not going to be enough. Looks like the Roaches were able to clear out all the siege tanks, but the Marines are so strong. And with this medevac, who kind of has a lot of, well, not really anymore, excuse me, but it's dwindling down right now. There's the big stim. Units just trickling in for Sen, but that's not how you want to do it. Meanwhile, Select is massing up a lot of units in the back, and boom, picks up all of those Marines. Going to retain all 8 of them and go in for round number 2. Select has 2 siege tanks and a lot of Marines to accompany it. Along with that, he's going to have 2 more medevacs joining the fray, and as soon as that happens, that's going to be so difficult to stop.
Select knows just how to make me smile, man. Every time his Marines are in a bad position, at the right exact moment, he just picks them up and leaves, just does even more with them. Unfortunately, that medevac is really low on energy, so not going to be able to actually heal up those, well, actually, I was overestimating how much energy it costs to heal, so he was actually able to heal up those Marines. But probably not going to do too much damage with that, just going to take that third at the gold. Already has the command center already done floating over there, and these Marines do have +1 with 1/1 on the way, so probably just going to be gearing up for another timing push after he gets this third setup at the gold and has 1/1 done. Meanwhile, Baneling speed and Roach speed on the way, so Sen's going to try to utilize that Lair tech, get some higher tier units, but not only is it 2 base versus a 3 base Terran, it's a 2 base versus a 3 base Terran with a gold. So this is not looking good for Sen at all. Not only do you never want to be behind on expansions, usually you want to be ahead on expansions as a Zerg. So to be that far behind, it's going to essentially take a miracle for Sen to win this game.
Yeah, I definitely agree. He needs either like Baneling bombs or Baneling burrows, whatever it might be, some sort of thing that gets him back into the game. Even in Festers, but going this Roach Circling Hydra, Roach Circling Baneling, he's going to be outmassed every single time. It looks like Sen is being attacked right now at his gold. He did have to cancel that, and now all the Select units are just going to shark around, make sure that his opponent is not taking any more expansions, and it looks like he might even go for the jugular.
Indeed, he might. There are unfortunately no Lings out right now for Sen. He does have some more on the way, but he morphed all of them into Banelings, so doesn't really have the ability to get the surround right now. But he does have 12 more on the way. Maybe he's just going to go for the engagement as soon as those 12 are out. Maybe he's trying to bait Select into unsieging his tanks or something, but here he comes for the engagement. All the Banelings in the entire army coming in from one angle. They're all stacked up, so they're taking so much damage from these siege tanks. Oh no. Sen blew up all of his Banelings on that siege tank. None of them will be left for those Marines. And even though the tanks, most of the tanks will go down, all but one, there is simply going to be nothing left for Sen to deal with this large force of 1/1 Marines with stim and combat shields.
Yep, and the Marines are going to be running in here, targeting down those Banelings. The Banelings are the only things that kept them alive against those Marines. Now a lot more Banelings are actually being made in the bottom right-hand position of the natural. Looks like Sen is gearing up for his final attack, but I don't know if it's going to be enough. Additional siege tanks are going to be moving in here. Banelings are going to be sprinting forward. It looks like they will finally connect, but there's just not enough stuff. There's so much for Select. It looks like Select will be cleaned up, but everything being rallied. Just a huge line of units being rallied over to the natural. Sen, I don't think will be able to clean everything up. It looks like these drones are finally going down. He has no natural expansion anymore. Nothing mining off of there. It looks like the macro hatch is under fire, and these hatchers, once they go down, that's going to do it for Sen. The first macro hatcher goes down, and GG calls out from Sen. Select is going to take it 2-0.